Again, use your signs. That's our words and our communication, just so that we're respectful for each other. And at the end, we will have a really great loud round of applause to communicate our excitement and concern. Thank you.
We'll be calling up your name and your number when it's your time. So we're going to actually take people in groups of 8, so 4 on this side and 4 on this side. So you can, and we'll call your names ahead of time. So when we're down to about 5, then we'll call the next 8 up. Okay, so our first speaker is Pamela Gomez, number 1. Pamela? Where's Pamela? Is Pamela here? Does anybody know Pamela?
She's not here yet.
Oh, she's not here yet? Okay, then number 2 is Donna. Okay, we'll start first. We'll go back to Pamela. So, Melissa Erickson. Well, can I call the names out the first 8? So, Melissa, and then we'll have next Stephanie Baxter, number 5, and then Faith Estes, number 6, and then Michael will be number 7, and number 8 is Paula Higgins. Okay, go ahead.
Those of us who have been advocating for public education in Florida for years are not surprised by Senator Rubio's recent behavior. He has a long history in the Florida legislature of enacting policies that are designed to systematically dismantle the public school system. His recent support of Betsy DeVos for the position of Secretary of Education, despite overwhelming opposition from Florida voters, is just one more insult to the millions of parents who want our leaders to invest in, not undermine, our public schools. Mrs. DeVos was one of the biggest donors to the effort to create Florida Voucher System, a program that drains much-needed revenue from our public schools. Additionally, Senator Rubio was personally the largest beneficiary of her generosity, with a total of almost $100,000 in donations to his various campaigns. Mrs. DeVos openly acknowledged why she donates to politicians like Mr. Rubio. We expect a return on our investment. In this case, she got one, a big one, and I'm afraid that children will suffer. Over the past 5 years, the organization that I helped found, the Alliance for Public Schools, has worked to educate stakeholders in our community about the education policy and to encourage them to engage in conversations with their elected officials about how important public schools are to the fabric of our community. I find it appalling that these passionate parents, teachers, and students themselves are not welcome in the office of Senator Rubio because the cost of admission is so high. Senator Rubio has, since his time in the Florida House, prided himself on being a champion of choice when it comes to schools. Well, a majority of parents in Florida have made a choice. They sent their children to public schools. I think it is time that we demand that that choice is honored, and public schools get as much attention from Senator Rubio as the other choices he likes to talk about. The over 10,000 community members who have engaged with the Alliance over the past 5 years has made one thing very clear. They support their public schools and want their elected officials to do the same. I ask that Senator Rubio not only fill this empty chair so that he hears from us what we want, but that he goes to his office in West Shore regularly and welcomes community members with as much enthusiasm as he does the donors from the voucher and charter industry that began to buy him and his vote while he was still in Tallahassee. Thank you.
Reminder that we have 2 minutes each, so everybody can have time to speak. Thank you.
How many of you believe that public education is a cornerstone of our democracy? I wish that our senators were here tonight to see the amount of people who have come on a night with terrible weather to make sure their voices are heard. As Melissa explained, we do not believe that Senator Rubio has been listening to the voices of parents, of teachers, of children in Florida or around the country when it comes to public education. He recently voted, and he could have been a swing vote for the Secretary of Education. As most of you probably know, there was a 50-50 vote that had to be broken by our Vice President. He could have been the deciding factor in putting someone in charge of the Department of Education who actually knows something about education. Instead, he chose to follow the money and vote for a person who has no public school experience, no education experience, has never attended a public school, has not sent their children to a public school, and who is among one of the most major figures in collapsing the Detroit public school system. And so I want Senator Marco Rubio to know that on behalf of Tampa Bay's teachers, students, and parents, we don't think you made the right call. And what happens next will be on you.
Is Faith here? Or that was Faith? Michael. Oh, you're Faith. Okay, Faith, thank you. And can I line up, before you speak, can I line up the next 8 speakers? Paula Higgins, number 8. Laura Blank, number 9. Bruce Blank, number 10. Kate Padulia, number 11. Marcia, number 12. Beth Brown, number 13. And one more, Liz Vickett, number 14, on either side.
Good evening. My name is Faith Estes. I live here in Tampa, Florida. I grew up in ethnically diverse neighborhoods and schools with an excellent public education. I was fortunate enough to know people of varying backgrounds and views, but I wanted to learn more. I began to travel, and after college, I moved overseas to teach English, living in Asia for 2 years and Europe for 4. I experienced different ways of living. I taught quality and free public schools that produced thoughtful and well-educated adults and was paid a livable wage. I obtained a master's degree that was paid for by the Spanish government in exchange for teaching at their schools. I lived in countries that valued education. I used universal health care and received the highest quality of care. I saw my doctors when I needed to and without fear of medical bills. My doctor spent time with me, and I never suffered the additional burden of weeding through bills and stressing about whether or not I could afford them. I lived as a foreigner and was welcomed and accepted in the communities in which I lived in. I was thanked for the service I provided, and even though I did not speak the language, people were patient and they were kind to me. And then I returned to my home country that I love dearly, a country that my grandparents fought to protect, and I am disheartened. I had to give up my beloved profession of teaching because I cannot afford to live on a teacher's salary. I tried teaching as an adjunct for a year while working full-time waiting tables, but that wasn't enough. The stress was too much and the economic burden was too high. I needed dental care, so I flew to Mexico twice because it was a tenth of the cost that it is here. I received quality care and would do it again. A friend of mine's life was saved because he had insurance through the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. He had Obamacare when the doctors discovered the cancer. And if the pre-existing condition provision is removed and the cancer returns, I will encourage him to leave the country for care, as it may be his only option for survival. I was trained as an EMT and witnessed the constant flow of poor forced to go to the emergency room when their health problems became dire. I've seen what those bills look like and know that if they had had access to preventable care, not only would they be physically better off, but we as taxpayers would be too. The United States will always be my home, and I love this country dearly. It is why I returned, in hopes to make it a better place. I've seen how people prosper when a nation invests in its people and provides them with quality education and health care. When people are healthy, they can work. When people are well educated, they have opportunities. It's simple, no? That is the wealthiest nation in this world. Why can we not support our citizens? The answer is we can, but we are not doing so. Marco. Marco, can you please explain why we are not, and what steps you will take to bring this nation quality and affordable education, including higher education? We would also like access to the very same health care that we pay for you to have. At the very least, please vote against dismantling the ACA that keeps our citizens insured. Thank you. Don't get a chance to head into the room and you want to tell your story and have your story told, and a place to go for more information, please share your story at this URL, tinyurl.com/mystorytampabay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Senator Rubio, I'm here today out of fear. I fear what could happen to me if Medicaid block granting comes to pass in Florida. Though I am quite disabled, Medicaid services allow me to live a full, productive life, interacting with the community, being cared for at home. If Medicaid services are cut or capped because of block grants, I could go from living at home to living in an institution, forced into some room at Tampa General Hospital because no other institution can legally accept that dependent patients. Senator, I don't want to live such a life. Would you?
Medicaid is more than a safety net, it's a lifeline.
I have to second real fast. The building next to us, over here on the western side, if you park in the parking lot of the business, you definitely need to get out and move your car. They're saying that they're going to tow cars. If you did park there, come see me. And I'm coordinating back there at this sign that says "Stop This Salt" on the Common Good. So if you parked in the office building space, building parking lot, please come see me in the corner. Thank you.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening, my name is Laura Mike. Senator Rubio, you opposed amnesty while running for Senate in 2010. You flatly said that you would oppose granting blanket legalization amnesty. In an interview with a conservative blogger in a CNN debate last year, you again opposed amnesty and linked it to a path to citizenship. When you said that an earned path to citizenship is basically code for amnesty, and that it would be unfair to create an alternative pathway for individuals who entered legally and knowingly did so. But in 2013, you were one of 8 authors of a Senate bill that included a path to citizenship and declared that it was not amnesty. Senator Rubio, you can argue that the bill which died in the House was not blanket amnesty because it included significant hurdles, including fines and a waiting period. However, you flip-flop so often that you are no different than 45. You always seem to justify your actions by going with the flow. Senator Rubio, what are your true feelings on immigration and what needs to be done to fix the problem without destroying so many lives? And Senator Rubio, this is a personal note from me. You are a disgrace as my senator. You are a disgrace to Florida. And a coward of the country.
Call through the speakers that had skipped. Amina, who wasn't here in the beginning. Amina, is she here? There she is, okay. Amina, and then, let's see, Reverend Russell Meyer? He's there, okay. And then I'll let you three go. Sorry.
Hi everybody. Sorry, this is weird. I'm just going to talk to the people that matter here. So, I'm a Muslim American, and I'm an immigrant and a refugee. And as we Muslims like to say, Salam Alaikum, or peace be upon you all. Yeah. And lately, every time I've greeted people in such a way, for some reason, it's been with more sincerity and more passion than usual. So I really sincerely mean peace be upon you all, especially at a time like this. And the reason I wanted to speak here today is because I first met one of the organizers, Melissa, when she had a call to action to go visit Senator Rubio's office. And there were maybe 6 or 10 of us there. And it was just people from all walks of life meeting there. She was there with her little boy. And we went up to his office to write letters about the Muslim ban. And I happened to be, I believe, the only Muslim there. So that kind of show of solidarity from my friends and neighbors and complete strangers has been more than what my own senator has done for us. Currently, there is a USF student who hasn't been able to come back to study and continue. He even missed an awards ceremony that he was supposed to go to and receive an award. He's stuck in Iran because his visa was revoked. And so far, there has been nothing from Rubio's office and nothing from our legislators around us to bring this boy back and help him continue his PhD studies here. And it's people like this that we're doing wrong by not being better as Americans. And I know the people in this room are, but the people who make these decisions are not speaking for us today and have done very little to help the most disenfranchised members of our community. So far, the only people that have suffered seriously have been disenfranchised minorities and completely underrepresented communities like illegal communities and our immigrants and refugees. And that is completely unacceptable from those people who earn their wages from our tax dollars. So my call to action today is really to continue doing work like this, although I would suggest everyone pace themselves. We have 4 years, I hope, in the court. It's only Wednesday and there have been 6 events, but I'm not complaining. Let's keep it up. Thank you. Also, for those interested, the Islamic community of Tampa Bay this Saturday is hosting an open house. Everyone's welcome. I hear there will be food, but probably not enough for however many people have already RSVP'd. So feel free to bring something and join one of the local mosques. I will probably be there. So thank you, and I'll give it up to Reverend Meyer, I guess.
Senator Rubio, my name is Russell Meyer. I'm the pastor here in town and the convener of the Florida Interfaith Climate Action Network. And I'd like to talk to you about your Mother Earth. When you campaigned to be the candidate for the President of the United States, Jake Tapper asked you if you would acknowledge the reality of the scientific consensus about climate change and pledge to do something about it if you became president. And in case you don't remember, this is what you said then. Well, sure, the climate is changing, and one of the reasons why the climate is changing is the climate has always been changing. There's never been a time when the climate has not changed. I think the fundamental question for a policymaker is the climate changing because of something we are doing? And if so, is there a law you can pass to fix it? So, Senator, I'm a person of faith. I would like to refer you to one of the most respected faith leaders in the world, Pope Francis, who said that human beings have caused climate change and caused degradation to Earth and poverty around the world. So, I suspect if the Pope can read the scientific papers and come to the conclusion that we have done something to hurt the Earth and along the way cause poverty at the same time, you could read the same material. I bet if you asked him, he would give you his library. In fact, I think with the money you've gotten from Big Sugar that has caused pollution across the Everglades and on both sides of Florida, you could buy that library for every public school in the state of Florida so that all of our children would understand that we are doing harm to ourselves and to the earth God gave us. And it is time for us to start making the policies that will protect this environment for our children's children's children. We should have no less of a major concern in front of us at all times.
Yes.
This is why I was very disappointed when you said that you favored the new director of the EPA because he would stop protecting the environment. Please, before the sea washes away your home in South Florida, take action to protect us all. God bless you and the United States of America.
Very tough act to follow there. Very tough act.
God's on your side. God's on your side.
Well, Mr. Rubio, I hope you're on our side too. My daughter is a third grade teacher in a public school, and she cannot make ends meet on her salary. Last week, she had to choose between buying gas and buying pencils for her classroom the day before payday. So we've been talking about her moving back in with Mom so she can afford to continue to teach, which she loves. But now she's not sure she wants to do that. I know you personally have 98,300 reasons not to care about this issue. But you also have more than 2,692,000 students in public schools across Florida since 2013 who need someone to represent them. So I want to put this in terms that you can hopefully understand. The quality of education that these 2 million students receive will determine what the gross national product of our country will be in just 10 to 20 years. And that means it does affect you, Marco Rubio, and how much you can be paid in the years to come. So I ask you, why did you do it? Why did you sell out our children for a measly $98,000? Why did you vote to turn our schools into profit centers for a clueless daughter of a billionaire? If you're having any second thoughts or regrets, I also ask specifically what you will do now and what you expect us to do now to protect our children and improve the education that these 2 million students will get, as well as the ones who follow them. Thank you.
And I'm also going to ask Paula Higgins.